Excellent. Thanks so much, Wayne. No, great presentation. And yeah, I would just encourage anybody that's interested. We've got lots of things out on trial with customers. We're happy to answer any questions. And, we've got a great team that can really knowledgeable in this area and got real world experience. So just reach out to any of those as per Wayne's final slide. Great. So we're going to move on now to the Q&A, and we're going to bring Max Stevens back in for this. So who else we've got? We've got Gaz back in to join us, and Tim,
Stephen, Tim, if you could just pop your cameras on.
Great stuff. Look at that. There we go. It's all popping into view. So I'm going to start. I'm going to start at the top, and I'm probably going to field the questions, but maybe if there's any here that just looking at some of these for the first time, if any of these are kind of, I'm not quite sure who to answer, I'll just ask Gaz who wants to take this one. Right. Okay. So we've actually got an end user on, so that's great. Good variety of people on today. So Derek has said quite recently changed to a Care IP unit, which uses broadband as the base communications method. With a Oh, hang on, I'm going to do Seymour, sorry. With a SIM as backup, when broadband fails, all relevant equipment has UPS protection. Is this just a short-term solution for Carium, or will it stay in place? And then a subsequent question is, how does the rSIM unit perform if local power fails? Gaz, do you want to go with that one?
Yeah, I'll take that. So, so the ELISA devices, as Wayne showed on his slides, we got 3 different types. Very much a supplier of choice for different connectivity options. So, if you take an ELISA S, for instance, that just has the rSIM capability, then realistically that would be unaffected during a power outage because it's got a long battery backup time of up to 72 hours. And you're not relying in any way on the broadband router to make that connectivity. If you do have Ethernet connections, then we'll smartly configure those devices to utilize perhaps the broadband as the primary path. And if that broadband goes down due to the power outage, then the SIM will take over. And again, the device will have that long battery backup time to support the connectivity.
Brilliant. Very succinct, Gaz. Anybody else want to add anything? Max, does that cover it from your side?
No, yeah, that covers it from my side. I mean, the only other thing I would say is the question about whether that's just a short-term solution for Carium or will it stay in place. The existing stuff will stay in place as well, and that solution that Derek's got in his house today will continue to work using the broadband as well.
Yeah, and it's important to be transparent, Derek, but you said you had a Care IP. The rSIM isn't compatible with the Care IP because it's only 2G technology, whereas the rSIM is compatible with all of our ELISA suite of devices. So, if you would like to look at upgrading that device moving forward, then naturally we can support you directly with that.
Great stuff. Yeah, we can drop you a message separately on that. So thanks for the question, Derek. Okay. On to Kenny next. So please, can I ask which networks does the rSIM work on? 2G, 4G, and will it have Volt capabilities?
Yeah, so I can answer that if you want, Gary. Yeah, so the rSIM on both profiles works across all UK networks for 2G, 3G, and 4G. Obviously, with the caveat that 3G is being switched out over the next couple of years. But yeah, certainly on 2G and 4G, O2, Vodafone, and EE, and then 3 as well on 4G because they don't have a 2G network. The rSIM will have VoLTE capabilities. We're testing at the moment in labs with Carium the integration with VoLTE and the ELISA. And once that lab testing is complete, Carium will be ready to launch VoLTE onto the ELISA devices, both for normal SIMs and for rSIM.
Just to add, we're working on that development as we speak to ensure that VoLTE is capable, in the very recent future.
And just to add from my side as well, that we'll take that on as after sales support. That we'll do the firmware updates on behalf of the service users. So we'll roll that out in batch. So we'll take on that exercise.
Excellent. Thanks, Wayne. No, that's great. Yeah, we've got a question here from Faith. Yeah, what is the timeline related to testing with Tunstall SAS?
So I've been heavily involved in the testing with Tunstall SAS. It's been slower than we would like, being perfectly transparent. But we've made some good progress. So last week we did deliver some successful calls to Tunstall's development platform. So I would like to say in the next few weeks that we'll have complete connectivity into the SAS platform, and we'll naturally keep you updated during that process.
Brilliant. Okay. I suppose, question back to Faith. Well, not really a question back to Faith. I mean, anybody that's working with, Tunstall or, has the Tunstall ARC, we would just encourage, your provider there, Tunstall, to work with us and kind of accelerate the testing that we're already doing. We found that very beneficial. Obviously, Wayne highlighted earlier on that the platform, the technology obviously works with Sky Response, works with Jontech, works with UMO, and also works with the Apello system. So we'd encourage our customers to, speak to their ARC provider and just say, we really like the look at this technology. Can we encourage you to speed up the testing and get it integrated so we can properly trial it? So you'll help gratefully appreciate it there, I'm sure.
Yeah, so, I'll absolutely back up that comment, Joe. Any customer pressure to your provider would be greatly appreciated. And, shout out to Tim, who has really helped us, drive that kind of integration and testing forward with Tunstall. So, appreciate your support on that, Tim.
No problem. I think it's probably worth saying that some ARC platforms will have a certification process, if you like. So you'd be able to go to them with a product and say, we want to integrate this product with the platform. Off the top of my head, I think UMO and probably Sky Response leading the way on that. And then with other platforms, it tends to be they're saying, well, we need a customer to kind of approach us, and it's, and then we'll work with that customer and the manufacturer. So yeah, I would echo those comments and say that we've kind of pushed Tunstall along a bit from a TSA perspective. It's really about interoperability. So we've got to drive the industry towards being able to use whatever device you want to with whatever platform you want to. And so we sometimes need the voice of you as the customer to say, look, Tunstall or Legrand or whoever it is, we need this integration to take place. So yeah, thanks.
Yeah, no, excellent point, Tim. I think we all recognise, this is a multi-person, multi-responsibility kind of approach, really. We're just interested in getting a really resilient solution out to the market, and whilst at the same time encouraging interoperability and suppliers and manufacturers to work together. So anything that anyone on this call can do, really appreciated. Okie dokie. So I can see we're getting into the final few minutes, but we've got another question here from Liam. So hi all, what platform would you recommend for ELISA with rSIM? Jontech, UMO or Sky Response? Are the ELISAs all SCAPE integrated with each platform? And thanks in advance for that. Great question. Thanks, Liam.
I'll take that one. So Liam, I mean, we don't have any preference of platform that you connect with. We, as Wayne demonstrated, we are integrated with UMO, with Jontech, with Sky Response, and very shortly, hopefully, Tunstall and Apello. So they are all SCAPE devices. They can talk over the standard VPNs that are in place from CSL to the relevant monitoring centres, but also on the ELISA devices with rSIMs, we also support the TLS secure connectivity as well. So really, that's the point that Tim made there, is that interoperability is hugely important to Kerium, and we wanted to make sure that the devices, were available to every flavour of platform with every flavour of security method. So no preference. And if you want to discuss that further, do feel free to reach out directly and I can help you along that journey.
Yeah, excellent. Thanks very much, Liam. So with the final few minutes to go, we just had a question pop up from Rebecca. So Rebecca asks, we use Innovation as our ARP. Does the rSIM require an update to our UMO web user platform to be able to add the ELISA S with the new SIMs?
Again, good question, and I'll happily take that one as well. No update that we're aware of is available. There are other dual SIM solutions that Innovation is compatible with, so the rSIM has fitted in quite nicely with existing platforms. But what we do have, as I explained earlier, is what we class as an inputting guide for the rSIM into all of the platforms, UMO being one, and we're very fortunate as Carium to have the UMO platform as well, so we've got good experience with that, and we can provide you with that documentation and support. If you wanted to entertain a test device, for instance, initially, so that you're much more comfortable moving forward adding those to your platform, but a very similar process to any other.
Amazing. Okay, I hadn't spotted this question actually from Vivian. It's the way that the questions get sorted in the Q&A section. So Vivian asks, please can I ask how both pathways are tested for voice and data if the primary route is successful? Can I just say these are fab and incredibly technical questions. It's great to get this level of engagement from our audience here. So okay, should we try Max on that? I'm sure you could answer that, Gaz, but let's give Max one as well.
Yeah, sorry. So I did actually just reply to this in the chat because I think the room that I'm in, I'm about to be kicked out of. But so I'll try and be quick because appreciate we're getting to the end of the end of the meeting. But sorry, this is Vivian's question. So testing both pathways, we use what we call a simulated outage, which doesn't actually take the SIM offline. And I'm going to bore some people with technical stuff, so I can call you Vivian and give you more information if you want more detail. But basically, what we do is stop the SIM from receiving an acknowledgement to its heartbeat. So the SIM thinks that it doesn't have a data connection, even though it does, and that will then mean that the SIM switches over to the second profile, and people are able to test the second profile as well. We do this. Or we did this during field testing scheduled, like Ari said earlier, on a Tuesday and a Thursday. And our plan is to have sort of more regular slots where this happens going forward once the devices are in the field as well. And that's something that we're picking up with Carium and other customers at the moment about when and how we would do that to sort of have these scheduled outages where they switch over. But I guess the thing to sort of clarify there is that these planned outages, scheduled outages, they're simulations. So the devices themselves don't actually lose connectivity during that period, and the actual time to switch from one profile to another we see takes 7 seconds.
Brilliant.
Okay. And I know we're running out of time, but just to very briefly add to that, we have the heartbeat in place on the device management platform as well, which can help highlight any connectivity issues. There's also test alarms, voice test alarms that can be sent, which would naturally test the voice path as well from the devices. They're still available from the old analog technology. And also, Vivian, we have copious amounts of alerting in place in our back end, in the event that there is any full scale outage. But in reality, the client, the end user, they shouldn't see any difference to the device. That's the key to it, really. And we would just know in the background that there is an issue that is taking place. So very proactive, very sort of on the down low, that you would notice an issue occur, which is it can only be a positive thing for an end user, really.
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks, Gaz. So going to stop there. I can see great that most people have stayed with us till 12, but we're going to drop off now. But can I just thank all of our presenters today, and a big thank you as well to Charlene for putting all this together. There's a lot of work that goes on in the background to make sure that these things happen on time and in the way that they have, and we handle it in a very sort of courteous and professional way. So thanks to everyone. Big shout out to Stephen as well.